In a forgotten corner of Kazakhstan, a village called Kalachi hides a secret. Starting as early as 2013, its people began to fall into sleep. Some would wake up days later with a gap in memory. Some claimed to see shadows in their dreams. Some said they felt as if they were buried, alive. This is the terrifying mystery of a sleeping disease that plagued locals and stumped doctors. This is the Sleepy Hollow of Kazakhstan. Victims of the disease would sometimes act as if they were drunk. They would have memory loss about what they had done and would often experience hallucinations. A local nurse described the phenomenon. You wake them up, they can speak to you, reply to you, but as soon as you stop talking and ask what bothers them, they just want to sleep. As the disease began to appear more often, Kazakh officials began to report on it. The syndrome, sometimes called Sleepy Hollow, is a medical condition which causes a person to sleep for days or weeks at a time. They theorized that the sudden events were being caused by heightened levels of carbon monoxide, along with other hydrocarbons from a nearby abandoned Soviet-era uranium mine. But this was only a theory. Alternate theories presented by an epidemiologist and experts after interviewing the local villagers, suggesting the ailment was caused by chemical contamination of the groundwater supply. It was suggested that such chemicals had originated from use by the military and had leaked from barrels. However, no particular chemicals were reported to have been identified. During hospitalization, people exposed to the disease were marked by identical complaints: dizziness, weakness, loss of coordination, or an unconsciousness state for up to 3 days. They get headaches, become confused, and suffer emotional instability and memory disorders. Children in particular seem susceptible to repeatedly falling asleep without warning. Experts continued to maintain a theory that some sort of gas leak was still a high possibility of causation. The residents of Kalachi village were now living in fear of the mysterious disease, not knowing if they would be next. Some considered relocating for their safety. Rumors began to say it could spread, leaving them susceptible to the disease. A few years would pass, and in 2015, doctors and scientists had yet to find a cure. The true cause was still up for debate. The Sleepy Hollow disease forces an individual to fall into a death-like sleep for days, and in some cases, for an entire week. Locals were terrified, rightfully so. After the case of a child falling into a death-like sleep, 124 families expressed a desire to relocate. A few years would pass, and locals who remained living in the area began to question the absence of hard scientific facts. Many residents are convinced they know the source of the problem: the disused Soviet-era uranium mine on the village's doorstep. The Krasnogorsky mine, attached to the village of Kalachi, was once home to miners from Russia and across the Soviet Union to extract uranium. The materials extracted were used to power Soviet nuclear weapons and energy plants. However, the mine closed in the 1990s, and there are no reports of the miners suffering a similar fate during Soviet times. The mayor of Kalachi, Asil Sadvokasova, acknowledged that as soon as there are conclusive findings, residents will be informed. The mayor, who has herself suffered a bout of the sickness, said, "This is a good chance for the residents of our village to find a new home and a new job." An interview conducted with a local by the name of Viktor Kazachenko shows that some people weren't very happy with the delayed progress. He stated, "Why should I go? I've been here for 40 years. I'm going to die here." Unfortunately, the more time that passed, the more of a mystery everything had become. The leading theory that a monoxide fog of poisonous gas was smothering the town was changed when the Kazakhstan government issued a statement claiming toxic level of carbon monoxide in water as the reason behind this bizarre phenomenon. Later, tests revealed that the water in the village had a carbon monoxide content 10 times higher than normal. Hundreds of families of Kalachi were relocated after this discovery. A local professor named Byron Crape from Nazarbayev University has done some of his own research. It had led him to disagree with claims that say carbon monoxide was the root cause. He believed that the chemicals from the disused uranium mines came into the water of the underground water pump and was the reason behind the problem, not monoxide. As more time passed, the locals became unsatisfied with the many theories and research. Why did it strike one house and skip the next? If it was just gas, why didn't it stop? Too many questions left unanswered. Residents left in bigger numbers. The village was beginning to look half empty, but the sleep kept coming. By 2018, most were gone. The government declared victory, but a few stayed. A woman asleep for 4 days. A man who swore he heard whispers underground. No new tests, no cameras, just silence from officials.
Epidemic is gripping a small village in rural Kazakhstan. Hundreds of people have been randomly falling asleep and staying asleep for hours, even days on end. And what's even more worrying is that no one really knows what's causing it.
Many believe the condition is linked to steam seeping out of an unused uranium mine in the area, but experts could not find any evidence. Terrified of this mysterious epidemic, almost 3/4 of the village's residents have agreed to pack up and leave.
The sleepers of Kalachi don't have an ending. Not yet. Was it poison seeping up? A buried experiment? Or something we can't name? The mine sits there still, a skeleton in the fog. Some say it's the earth itself, something older than gas, older than us. Others wonder if the Soviets left more than rust behind. What do we know? It's not over. The village may be a shell of its former self. But in 2025, while Kalachi fades from maps, it doesn't from memory. How does this story end? What do you think? Are your eyes still open? Give your thoughts below. Subscribe if you're still awake.